Our Sunday Spotlight shines today on two acting legends, Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, both knighted by Queen Elizabeth for their contribution to the theater. They're starring now in two new shows on Broadway, and while American audiences may know them as enemies in the blockbuster X-Men franchise, ABC's John Donovan found them the best of friends.
It's the hats that throw you off. These two guys on the right here, they're out of costume, but zoom in on this one. Costume, please. And yep, that's Ian McKellen playing Gandalf in The Hobbit. And now the other guy. Zoom, please. And costume, yep, Patrick Stewart, back when he was playing Jean-Luc Picard on Star Trek: The Next Generation. And the other guy, well, that's me, truly in awe to be out on the street with these two guys.
This is so cool.
Actually, what's cool is what these two guys have been doing up on Twitter, getting around New York City, here, and even down here on the day the trash was put out, or maybe it was the day after. Just two Brit bros doing New York City.
It was Ian saw the trash bags and said, "Quick, stop here." We literally stopped and held up traffic, jumped out, took the photograph on the trash bags, and were back in the car. You know, while people were still saying, "Hey, who are those guys?"
I recognize those guys.
We are shameless self-publicists. But what's nice on this occasion is that we are in charge of it ourselves. It has not been imposed upon us. We're doing it because we want to do it, and that's why we're doing these two plays.
These two plays. That's the point, because right now, the two actors are in two Broadway shows together. Beckett's Waiting for Godot and Pinter's No Man's Land. And the snapshots, well, hat-wise, they're in character here. They're doing Dee and Gogo, the two characters from Waiting for Godot. So it's a bit of a publicity stunt. But they're having fun doing it, this Broadway dream team who have been friends a long, long time.
Being friends with the people you work with is I think, pretty important. But we have shared experiences of working for the Royal Shakespeare Company, for example, and the National Theatre.
At the same time?
At the same time, but never in the same place,
never in the same
curiously.
Place. No.
Although back at the very start, in the 1960s, McKellen got big before Stewart got big.
I was working in regional theatre. He was with the National Theatre. He was working with Olivier. He was in the West End, somewhere that I could only fantasize about. And so I was a fan to begin with. And I carry a little of that with me still.
Only a little? Yes, well, that's nice. It's quite proper.
We need you to hope again.
Of course, they were both global stars and friends by the time they made X-Men together. And now that they're working night after night in New York, the other important thing they have in common is knowing how it feels to be working so hard at their age. 73 for Stewart, 74 for McKellen. In previews, they shared a dressing room.
What do you guys get up to in the dressing room? Do you
we
just...
both sleep a great deal. The bed is the most important piece of furniture.
And you really mean that, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it's very nice not to be the only old man in the play. You know, there are two of us, so
true.
Well, if they're hurting, it doesn't show. Two great pros, two great bros, two guys in hats on the sidewalks of New York. For this week, I'm John Donovan, ABC News, New York.
And our thanks to John for that. And now we honor our fellow Americans who serve and sacrifice. This week, the Pentagon released the names of 6 soldiers killed in Afghanistan. And that is all for us today. Thanks for sharing part of your Sunday with us. Check out World News with David Muir tonight, and have a wonderful Christmas.